All right, so recently shared by the African Files Zone saying US President Donald Trump tariffs on goods and services from African countries. All right, now, this have actually been going on for a while now. A lot of you guys actually knows what I'm going to talk or share here. But, well, this was the tariff that the US President Donald Trump actually placed on African countries. So let's see the African countries and how percentage-wise the tariff was on these countries, okay? So let's go. So Lesotho had the highest in Africa. That was 50%. Number two, Madagascar with 47%. Mauritius, 40%. Botswana, 37%. Angola, 32%. Libya, 31%. South Africa with 30%. Algeria, 30%. Tunisia, 28%. Namibia, 21%. Zimbabwe, 18%. Zambia, 17%. Malawi, 17%. Mozambique, 16%. Nigeria, 14%. Equatorial Guinea, 13%. Chad, 13%. Democratic Republic of the Congo with 11%. Cameroon with 11%. Egypt, 10%. Morocco, 10%. Kenya, 10%. Ethiopia 10%, Togo 10%, Ghana 10%, Tanzania 10%, Senegal 10%, Uganda 10%, Gabon 10%, Liberia 10%, Benin 10%, Congo 10%, Djibouti 10%, Rwanda 10% again. Eswatini 10%, Sierra Leone 10%, Sudan 10%, Niger 10%, Guinea y'all had 10%, Mali 10%, Cape Verde 10%, Burundi 10%, Mauritania 10%, Gambia 10%, Eritrea 10%, South Sudan 10%. Guinea-Bissau we had 10%, Central African Republic with 10%, Sao Tome and Principe 10%, and Comoros with 10%. So these right here are your top countries in Africa, and there are various percentage-wise tariff that they were placed on by the US president. Okay, well, most countries had 10%, but some had as high as 50%. That is Lesotho. Bro, Lesotho, what did you ever do to Trump for that high? Because recently that Trump got to know there's a country called Lesotho. Man said a country nobody have ever heard of, and now he just wake up and say, nah, you guys just deserve some 50% tariff. What did you guys ever do? Well, so that is what Trump did recently. But guess what, after this was shared, quick notice, it came that by Breaks Info on a page on X saying breaking news, President Trump issues 90-day pause on tariffs. Mostly, yeah. So President Trump actually puts a 90 days. So let's say from now going, there's a 90 days pause on the tariff. We believe that after this tariff, some or most of the countries have made a move to negotiate with Donald Trump concerning this tariff, and then they are now given a 90 days ultimatum to discuss and get a better negotiation for U.S. trade between other countries. Okay, but basically only on Africa and other European countries. But China is exceptional. Okay, China and U.S. is still having a back-to-back on there out there somewhere. Okay, it's still on like a trade war. It's still on between China and USA. But for other Africans, let's say it's on pause right now for the next 90 days, and then depending on how the negotiations will go on between various African countries and then the Donald Trump administration. Okay, that would actually determine if the tariff will be back after 90 days. So let's see and hope things will get better between these two countries. But when this was shared, I know you guys know this for sure, but have you actually noticed what was the trend or how Africans or some Africans were taking this news? Well, that is what I'm here for. Let's see how our people were talking about this. But the funny thing was, South Africa, bro, what did Lesotho ever do to you guys? Well, see this. This one says 50% for Lesotho. He only found out about its existence a few weeks ago. Yeah, South Africans are laughing about this. South Africa had a huge as 30%, but they were not worried about the 30% though. They are worried was why is Lesotho having that part. Well, this one says, see the replies though. This one says it's payback for the 8 million of promoting gay people. And then this one says without his knowledge. Yeah. Trump accusation on Lesotho was that he believed that the Biden administration actually pushed around $8 million to Lesotho to promote gay rights. And man is actually failed. And now these South Africans are actually laughing because they believe that, Trump is actually furious with Lesotho because of that 8 million idea that they were to push the gay rights. Man is actually not happy with that one. Well, again, this one says a whole Lesotho baton. All they know is mining and witchcraft. They never bother anyone. South Africans. I don't know why, but I say you guys are always on Lesotho's necks. Why should it be so? Again, this one says Lesotho will become the 10th South African province soon. Bosotho Nation combined Free State and Lesotho will double of what Zulu Nation is now in South Africa. Bro, come on. Let's not discuss this one. This is a very complicated issue. Well, let's all respect our boundaries and each other's people. Okay, let's leave this one for sure. Now, one will ask, why are Lesotho having the highest tariff in Africa here? Well, based on what is asked by on X by one on AI tool, it says Lesotho is being levied a 50% tariff by the Trump administration due to its significant trade surplus with the United States. In 2024, Lesotho exported 237 million worth of goods, that is primarily textiles and diamonds, to USA, while importing only 2.8 million from US, promoting the tariff as part of a reciprocal trade policy aimed at addressing trade imbalances. The formula used to calculate tariff based on the US trade deficit with a country divided by the total value of imports from the nation. Lesotho reliance on export to US, especially under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, makes this tariff particularly devastating for its economy, which heavily depends on the textile industry. All right. So the only reason that Trump actually put this 50% tariff on Lesotho is because of that. He believes Lesotho transfer or export around $230 million of textiles and diamonds to America, but they only imports 2.8 million goods from America. And Trump was like, no, wait a minute, why? So the basic calculation for Trump to give each country this tariff is simple. You just divide the trade surplus between the both countries to the American one, and then get to find the population or the percentage wise that you give it to the country based on this. And he believes that Lesotho is actually gaining too much from the United States, but actually giving less to the people of the United States. So he believes that with the highest tariff you give them, there needs to be a balanced equation for both countries too. But as the AI said, it is such a big blow to the Lesotho government and then the Lesotho economy, because they actually depends heavily on the United States market. Okay, so hopefully Donald Trump administration will come to a easy way. As I said, it's 90 days hot now, so hopefully the Lesotho government or the Lesotho leaders will actually meet up with the Trump's administration, and then they will discuss this for betterment of both people and country too. Okay, the name is Vadashi. There was something fascinating, funny, at the same time horrible. And yeah, it's so sad too that African countries are facing all these things based on how weak our leaders have been towards trade and international affairs. Okay, hopefully things can change and we will set up and get our content great again. The name is Vadashi. Thank you for your time.